Hello and welcome to the Dr. Celia Corbo Show. I'm your host, Dr. Celia Corbo, a functional health practitioner, licensed chiropractor, and entrepreneur. On our show, we feature and showcase wonderful entrepreneurs and learn about their stories to success. Today, I have the wonderful Marilena, the owner and founder of Wallwear. Marilena has been breathing life into blank walls through her beautiful murals for the last 25 years. She has always been inspired by art, and after graduating from OCAD in Toronto, Canada, has been working in the creative field ever since. Taking her business to new heights as an entrepreneur, she not only works with clients but has a membership program to help other muralists learn techniques, delve deeper into their passion, connect with like-minded individuals, and elevate their artistic journey to new heights. Hi, Marilena, and welcome to the Dr. Celia Corbo Show.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. So you've been doing this for quite some time, these beautiful
I
murals.
have. I have.
Yes.
I've been very lucky to have this amazing adventure of life and running a business of painting murals. It's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about your story, how you got
Yeah,
started
for
and your
sure.
journey throughout?
For sure. I like have a really interesting I went to OCAD, but I actually studied jewelry design and I did that for 4 or 5 years. And then I got pregnant with my daughter, my first child. And I ran into someone who had gotten a mural done in their home. And I was in awe of that mural that they had gotten done. And I remember going home that night and I said to my husband, I think I'm going to paint a mural in the nursery. And he said to me, you are 8 months pregnant. I don't recommend this. And I said, well, I'm just going to do it. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? So I painted that mural. It did take me a while to get through the mural because, of course, I was 8 months pregnant. And at the end of it, it was so pretty and I loved it so much. And I didn't really think much about it except for that I had done this beautiful nursery for my baby. And it wasn't until months later that people were visiting us and everybody was like, who painted this mural? And I was like, I painted it. And then they were like, well, could you paint me one? So that was kind of the beginning of the journey. I then went back to work. Back then, mat leave was 6 months, went back to work, and I ended up having baby number two. And that time, the mat leave was a year. And during that year, I really started thinking about it. I had, 5, 6 murals under my belt. I had done them for friends and family. And I started thinking, could this actually turn into a career, like a business? So I really took it seriously after my second child and thought, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I absolutely love doing this. And how wonderful would it be to have a job that you love waking up in the morning to
For
and
real.
having the flexibility as a mom to be able to still take care of my kids and do everything else that I had to get done. And that's where it actually used to be called Hand Painted Murals, my business, because I didn't have a name for it.
Yeah.
That's where Hand Painted Murals started. And it wasn't until years later that it's now called Wallwear. And it has developed, and I have been through this unbelievable entrepreneurship um, voyage of the last 25 years that has been just amazing for me. Um, and I love it.
Yeah, it honestly, following you on Instagram is so much fun. I feel like I'm right there with you in the room watching you paint. It's so relaxing. It's so soothing. I'm sure you
Yeah.
get it all the time, but it's
Well, it's like a
amazing.
whole other, I mean, once Instagram came out, because I was kind of at the beginning in Instagram, I think it's been 10 years now that Instagram's been out and social media. And
Yeah.
I kind of jumped on the wagon of social media, not having any idea what I was doing. But I've
Mhm.
learned like in the last 10 years and really have grown to love it. It almost becomes another job.
Yeah.
But um, I've been lucky that I kind of feel like it's another like extension of my art, because making videos and being creative in that way still kind of plays the same as, painting and being creative in other ways.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not very artistic myself. Like I could never paint a mural if my life was depended on it. But definitely I agree that the social media aspect of running your business and doing that as a part of it, it is a form of art. It's a form of creativity.
Yeah, it
And
is.
when you look at it that way, it actually can be fun because I have a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of other people that I speak to. They say, "Oh, it's such a it's such a bore, I have to do it, but it can be fun if you really
No, it
think about
totally
it
can be, and
differently.
I treat it as an extension of
Yes.
my art,
Yeah.
and I think that that's when, because I mean, of course, at the beginning, you don't really know what you're doing and how to play the field of Instagram.
Yeah.
But when I realized, I had a couple years ago, I think it was about 4 years ago, that someone I was following on social media who also ran a small business, they said, like, why are you not on every free social media
Huh.
platform?
Yeah.
As a business owner, there's no reason. Like,
Yeah.
why are you not? It's free, and it is 100% a form of advertisement for you and
Yeah.
your business. And I kind of sat with that for a while, and I thought to myself, they are 100% right. Like, if I don't throw myself into this, then I'll be paying for other forms of advertisement to get work.
Yes.
How about if I just, the cost of my time, but then it gets to be the way I make it, and I thought to
Exactly.
myself, that's really when I threw myself into it. So I would say about 4 years ago, I really just decided, you know what, I'm going to jump into this, and I'm going to learn as much as I can, and I'm going to ask my kids as often as they let me to figure out how to run this social media and just run with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a little bit of luck, but a little bit of hard work, and I was able to make it work and be
Yeah.
successful on the platforms that I'm on. So
Yeah,
it's been a
absolutely.
great journey.
Yeah, and you know what? It's true. Once you figure out what your audience likes to watch from you,
Yeah.
it just becomes very repetitive what the information and the videos that you put out there.
Yeah.
It's and it's not boring repetitive, it's just you know what people like. You've cracked the algorithm.
That's right. That's right.
So you have then had your business going from a time where there was no social media to now where there is social media.
Yes.
If you had to pick which era to stay in, which era would you pick and why?
Oh, 100% it would be the social
The
media
social
era.
media. Yeah.
I have really learned to love it. I really have. I honestly don't know how I did it before.
I was
Uh,
gonna ask you that next. How did you
yeah,
do it before?
I
What are
did
the
do it.
pros
I
and
mean,
cons?
of course, there was no other way. So you
Yeah.
found ways. When I started doing all of the uh, trade shows, which worked really great for me. So
Mhm.
I did do trade shows, which I still think work really great for anybody who's doing them. But I do feel like now I just have this wider range of audience, which is like nothing else.
Yeah. And
Like, to be able to reach millions of people. Like, I had a reel go viral last week on TikTok, and it hit 1.5 million views. So to think that 1.5 million people are watching me paint a mural, there's really nothing like that. And as much as I loved doing the shows, I did them for 10 years. I got so many clients. It made my business what it is today. I grew from it. But I'm all into, like, what's the next thing?
yeah,
And so I
absolutely.
would definitely pick this era.
Yeah, you know what? Me too, because I grew up with parents that they had their own clinic and whatnot, and it was definitely word of mouth. You do get very good clientele because there's that trust component. But like you
Yes.
said, there's nothing like getting 1.5 million people to watch a video of you painting and just being immersed in your work and
Yeah,
learning about you before you even know about them.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what has been one of your greatest successes on social media apart from like viral videos? What's one thing
Yeah,
that
I
you
did
can
have a
contribute?
couple viral videos that went
Mhm.
really great. I mean, the Marvel video that I did hit 52 million views on Instagram, so that
Crazy.
was pretty amazing, and I gained a lot of followers and a lot of work from that. But more than anything, I think it gives you a little bit of credibility.
Mhm.
Um, People then look at your page just a little differently, that they feel like, oh, this is somebody who actually um, is really good at what she does. One of the other things that I feel like in my career kind of helped me up the edge of my mural business was getting on the Property Brothers. So that was a really fun and big moment for me. I've since then done 4 or 5 episodes for them. Great guys, and it just gave me that little bit of credibility. It gave people the chance that when they went on my website, they were like, "Oh, she's the one that paints." on that show,
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's just all of these things. I always feel like it's never one thing. It's like just a bunch of things. Like, and I never give up. Like I had that one viral video, it went crazy, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop. No,
Yeah.
like every day I'm posting, or every day I painted a mural yesterday, and I have maybe 5 or 6 reels in my drafts ready to go. So it's just always like, I just want to grow and get better. And I want to learn how to use social media and all its benefits, and just keep going.
Yeah. And so what are some strategies then that you have that you can share with some other entrepreneurs or even other muralists in regards to navigating the world of social media?
I have actually, I write this all over my page. I have 5 points that I always tell people. You need to get these 5 points down for you to be successful in your business. And then you can turn that into being successful in your social media.
Mhm.
I actually have them written down
Ooh,
because
great.
I always talk about these. So I think the first thing is being confident. If you are not confident in what you do, I wouldn't hire you.
Yep.
So, and that's for any business. You really have to show people that you know what you're doing, or at least fake that you know what you're doing, right?
Yep.
It's just all about being confident. I think number two, this is one of the biggest things that people don't realize, is you really need to find a niche. You
It's
cannot
hard.
be, yeah, you cannot be like all over the place. You need to
Yeah.
find your niche and what you're really, really good at, and just nail that niche down.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a big thing that people don't realize is important. A lot of people are like, oh, I did really well on that video, or oh, I'm really good at doing this. But you need to be good at just that, like get really down to the nitty gritty. And that's what you specialize in.
Yeah.
So, for example, in my case, I could say my niche is painting murals, but I had really started concentrating on painting baby rooms and nurseries. And
Mhm.
that kind of became my niche, and really like a strong point. Like people knew if they wanted to get their nursery done, they were going to come see me. They weren't going to find a
Yeah.
street artist or a, airbrush artist. They were going to come to me because they knew that I specialized in that.
Mhm.
So it doesn't mean that you can't grow later on and do other things, but I
Yeah.
feel like finding that niche is amazing. So being confident, finding the niche, and then being professional. Being professional is a big one.
Yeah.
Make sure everything is organized, and you speak well with your clients, and you show up on time, and you're neat. In my case, because I'm an artist and not
Yes.
all artists are neat, that's a problem.
It's paint
But I
everywhere.
feel like these things all make such a huge difference.
Yeah.
And the other thing is your online presence. Like that's for me a top thing. So we have online presence, being confident, finding a niche. What was the other one I said? Uh,
Professional.
being professional. And then the last thing is practice. Practice, practice, practice. Whatever you do, if you're a speaker, practice speaking. If you're an artist, practice painting. If, whatever you do, if you're a gym person, a, physical trainer, like practice, practice, practice.
Yeah.
I think if you get those 5 things down, which are 5 things that I've kind of narrowed down in my own field, and I feel like if you get those narrowed down, it really gives you a hand up in running a business.
Absolutely. I recently just did another YouTube episode about self-sabotage because I
Mm,
just finished reading this book called The Mountain Is You. And I felt like she was speaking directly to me because self-sabotage is something that is so common with entrepreneurs. And these
yeah,
5 points that you make, I can find the opposite in how someone would not want to do that because
yeah,
they're self-sabotaging. And one of the big ones that stood out to me in opposite of what you said was perfectionism because I'm such a perfectionist. I have to go over things a million times, but your 5 points really just emphasize of just do it. Just get it
just do it.
done
Oh
because the
yeah,
more you practice, the more you show up and the more you stay true to yourself, the more successful you will be
that's right.
ultimately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
absolutely.
And I
So,
always tell people the
yeah.
excuses you make are
Mhm.
not going to get you further,
100%.
right? So you just
100%.
have to kind of put them aside. And this is for everybody, not like
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
self-sabotages. Everybody
Yeah.
does. I could easily say to myself, you know what, I don't have time to record that video right now.
Yeah.
But I have to always remind myself, no, you do have time and
Mhm.
you are going to get it done, right?
Yeah.
And that's part of, like, practicing or being professional. It's just, you've got to do it, and you've got to kind of just say, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
Because then no one's gonna do it for you. You have to be the one to drive that ship, right?
Yeah. That's what
Yep.
another thing. I mean, I think people always forget that this is your business.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to do it, or if
No one
you're
else.
not going to talk about your business,
Yeah.
nobody else is.
Exactly. And
Nobody else is.
a vicious cycle that I got into was trying to hire people to do things for me, and I wasn't at that point yet, and
Yeah.
I felt like my money was just dripping out of my hands because
Yeah.
nothing was getting done. And then I had to really reflect and be like, "What are you doing, Celia? Like, get it together, get your stuff in order, and start
Yeah.
doing things and showing up for yourself." And it really did change everything for me
Yeah.
too.
You just have to kind of wake up in the morning and being like,
Yeah,
today I'm going to accomplish this. I love making
exactly.
lists personally. So I make lists
Me
so much.
too. I'm an agenda girl. I mean, my phone is around, but my agenda is
I
everything.
love it. I
It's
write everything down
me
and
too.
make lists. But I just feel like I keep reminding myself it's my business.
Yes.
Like, sometimes my kids are like, Mom, can you stop telling people you paint murals? I'm like, if I don't talk about it, who's
Yeah.
going to talk about it?
Yeah.
Like, if
Exactly.
I talk to everybody. I'm like, at the restaurant, I talk to the waiter. Do you need a mural done? You know what I mean?
Love
But like,
that.
yeah, but like, I always say, if I'm not going to talk about my business,
Yeah.
how's it going to get around? Like, how are
Exactly.
people going to know? I want
Exactly.
people who know me to say, hey, if they hear the word mural, they're like, oh my God, I have someone for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want them to be like, what? I didn't know you painted murals. When did you start doing that? Like,
Exactly.
so I think that if you want to be successful in your business, then, you know, it's your business. So
Yeah.
just get things done. I love my 5 points. I have them written down, and I always look at them and remind myself, and talk about your work
Yeah.
to everybody.
Absolutely. Again, if you're not going to do it, no one else is going to do it
Yeah.
for you,
But
right?
also, if you get those 5 points, I feel like everybody else talks about your work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is like when you're professional and you're at someone's home and you've done a good job, who are they gonna recommend? Like,
Exactly.
they're not gonna recommend someone else. They're gonna recommend you, right?
Exactly.
So it speaks for itself when you accomplish those things as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, okay, a couple questions that I have for you. But how then, because for me, niching was really difficult. And I actually come across that with a lot of individuals that are starting up their own business. It's almost like they're scared to niche because then they don't want to say no to other opportunities. So, how did you really buckle in on your niche of nurseries, but then also get this chance to do other really beautiful murals for other people that aren't nurseries?
Yeah, well, I think at the beginning, because I was doing a couple of the shows, I
Mhm.
mean, to be honest with you, everything kind of goes with the era that you're in. So
Yeah.
like the first 10 years of my business, I had three little kids, right? So, and everybody around me had three, like, kids. And every party we went to, it was about kids. And so that's how the niche got buckled down,
Yeah.
right? Because then all of a sudden, the first 10 murals I did were for my family who all were having kids. And then I'm like, okay, well, I have 10 of them in my portfolio now that are all nurseries, right?
Mhm.
And then I did the first show I did was the baby show, like the baby time show. And the work I got from there was more nurseries. And of course, other people would ask me, can you do this? Can you do that? And I would do it. But I started realizing that if I kind of specialized in that one thing,
Mhm.
yes, I can still say yes if anybody asks me other murals to paint, but I'm really gonna like buckle down and get my portfolio growing with this.
Yeah.
I just, for some reason, I caught on really early in my business that people like it when you are specialized in something. And that's
Yeah.
for everything. Like, if I need my grass cut, I'm not going to call a stone layer, like, or a
Yes.
tile guy. You know what I mean? I'm going to find someone who just cuts grass, or,
Yeah.
so I just found that. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to lose opportunities. So, of course, I would go paint the nursery, and then they'd be like, oh, well, can you do my master bedroom? Or can you do, you know, but I did say no to things that I wasn't 100% sure. Like, so for
Mhm.
example, I'm not an outdoor muralist. I
Okay.
don't paint outdoor murals often. I've
Mhm.
painted a few. So now at my point in my career, if someone asks me, can you airbrush the outside of my building? The answer is going to be no.
Mhm.
I don't do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I could point you towards other people who do, but I don't do that anymore. But I really found that narrowing down that niche made me realize that you can actually get a lot more.
That's so interesting because a lot of people think
The
once
opposite.
you the total opposite, and
Yeah.
even myself included. I remember going to a business program that I signed up for, and it was for the year, and I just couldn't get over the fact that I couldn't find a niche. And now I have my niche, high performing female entrepreneurs, but even then, it can be more specific. And
I,
so it's just I truly believe that your niche will find you. And
yes.
that's pretty common with a lot of the things that people have been telling me when I ask them about their niche or how they got into working in that specific
Yeah.
sector of health or mural or whatever.
Yeah.
It really found them, which
It
is really
does. It
beautiful.
does. Yeah. It really
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does help you build and just get really professional with that. And I
Yeah.
feel like then those people are going to seek you out,
Mhm.
which is what you want.
Exactly. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, eventually you get to a point where like, I want people to find me and not
Yes.
the other way
That's,
around. And
yeah.
that I feel like that's a version of success for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, speaking of success, what's a really notable success story? Either personal, apart from the viral videos, but something that you did that you're like, wow, I've hit where I've wanted to hit and now I can keep going.
So right now, to me, this mural membership that I have started in the last like 4 or 5 months has really made me realize how much I love doing it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love mentoring, teaching, tutoring people who are just starting out in running a business, running a successful business, and especially muralists. So right now
Mhm.
I've been really lucky. I have about 35 members in my mural group, and I am
Amazing.
guiding them through teaching them how to start the business, how to get more clients, how to work on social media, how to have an online presence, all of these things that I've learned in the last 25 years. And I never ever thought that I could actually have another business doing this. And it has been so great that I am thinking of the future and that I cannot wait until I'm doing that full time.
Yeah, that would be
Because
amazing.
as I get older, I am realizing that muraling is extremely physically demanding, and I'm going to just take my time and mentor younger muralists or painters who want to be as successful. So
Yeah,
that to me has
absolutely.
been like such a success in my career right now. I mean, I've
Yeah.
had so many murals that I've painted that I sometimes I'm in awe of myself. I think that they are so cool. And but this to me has been, I have been trying to figure out in the past couple of years how to teach people. But
Mhm.
because painting murals is not like an online thing, like, it's not
Yeah,
like I could be like,
exactly. Yeah.
"Hey, like, so here's the wall," and, like, and I thought, "How are they gonna see what I'm doing unless they're standing next to me?"
Yeah.
And it's been racking my brain for the last couple of years trying to figure out how can I teach people, because I have so many tips and tricks that I wanna
Yeah.
teach people. And then this, membership thing came in my lap, which is a whole other story, and I started thinking to myself, "Could this actually be the way I'm gonna do it?" And I thought, well, I'm just going to jump into it and try it. And it has been so good.
It sounds amazing. It sounds like, can I not be a muralist and still be
Of course, you can totally join and just learn. Well, it's also brought me on to like other things where I'm starting to think now, you know what? Our Zoom calls are so great. Like, I
Yeah.
have such a great time with them. And we talk about so much that I might start opening it up to, you know, um, like just the public in general. Hey, do you
Yeah.
want to learn about 5 ways to grow online?
Yeah.
Zoom calls happening next week or something,
Yeah.
and so I feel like this membership has opened up a whole
Another
other
world.
side of my
Yeah.
business. And it's where I want to evolve to, because I've been doing this for 25 years already. And I'm now
Yeah.
at the point where it's time for me to um, teach my skills
Yeah.
to people who want to hear him.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to get into the membership a little bit more, but a question that I have for you is you did mention that being a muralist is very physically demanding.
Yes.
And I want to know what are some things that people don't know about being a muralist, that the impact it has on your body, your mind, your spirit,
Yes.
and also how do you take care of your health in
Yeah.
regards to an injury that comes on and you have a mural that you have to paint?
Yes. Well, I know a lot about this just because I've been painting for 25 years. So I've always been someone who loves to work out. And I have continued to do so. And I know people sometimes are like, well, how do you have the time to work out and then go to work? But I honestly have to make the time to
Yeah.
work out so I can work.
Yeah.
So I make the time to work out so I can work.
Yeah.
Because if I don't work out, I am I cannot work. I
Yeah.
need to have the flexibility. I need to have the strength to lift ladders and paint and put scaffolds together. And you can't do that if
Yeah.
you don't have the physical aspect of it. So I've always been really big on working out and eating healthy. And I love going to physiotherapy. I do a lot of shoulder work
I'm
with
sure
my
all that overhead
chiropractor.
work.
That's right, with my chiropractor. I'm actually suffering from a little tennis elbow right
Yeah,
now, but getting through it with all the exercises. So you do start to realize muraling is very physically demanding, and
yeah,
I didn't realize because I've been doing it for so long. So you know the way when you get used to doing something, your body doesn't hurt that much. But when I get an assistant, and then they come on with me for the first week, and then they'll call me and be like, "I can't move." I'm like, "Oh, oh, it's that bad, huh?"
yeah, yeah,
And they're like, "How do you do this all day? How do you stand on a ladder for 6 hours with your
yeah,
calves raised, right? Like, with your
yeah,
on your tippy toes, you don't realize." I mean,
yep,
our biggest problem with muralists is that our arms are up for, like, 6 hours, right?
yeah,
But, I mean, as I'm getting older now, working out is different, and I'm really big on strength training right now,
yeah,
which has been great. So I'm really building up the strength training so that I can continue to work, right? And
absolutely.
uh, go from there. And I'm very big on just making sure I'm always stretching. And if I see my, uh, therapist or chiropractor regularly,
Mhm.
I have them on speed dial on my phone. So I just call them and say, I'm coming.
Yep,
We need a quick fix.
yes,
Yeah, because
absolutely,
you have to take care of yourself, right?
for
I'm really
sure.
big on taking care of yourself so that you can be better,
Yes,
better for work,
absolutely.
better for my family, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. Even from a chiropractic perspective, it is a very physical job.
Yeah.
You're hunched over all day, putting force through people's joints that need to become unrestricted and better movement and things like that. And at the end of the day, like my body is hurting. And I tell
Yes.
my patients, if I don't take my days off, I'm not a very pleasant person to be around because I need to heal. I need to take care of my body. I need to eat and
That's right.
exercise. It's so
Yeah.
important when you have a very physical job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even like yesterday, I did 6 or 7 hours
that's
painting a
crazy.
mural all day, and I
Yeah,
got home at 10 to 5 and made it to my gym class at 5:30. And if it was anybody
amazing.
else, they'd be like, I am not going to this. Now I was
Yeah,
exhausted, but I
yeah,
knew if I didn't get it into my
yeah.
schedule, I just then procrastinate.
And
Right.
then
And
again, it's those excuses, and then you
that's right.
self-sabotage, and then next thing you know, you're getting injured all over the place and you can't work.
Exactly.
It's a cycle,
Exactly.
right?
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about that membership that you have going on because I'm super curious about it. So, you mentioned about how it's this online platform and you're
Yeah.
teaching muralists and whatnot, but can you tell us a little bit more about it and
Yeah. So basically, what had happened is like I said, I was really interested in trying to find a way to teach people how
yeah,
to paint, or even not even how to paint, but how to run a business. I feel like a lot of muralists, we don't have to talk about murals. We could talk about artists in general or
anything,
anybody who
yeah.
runs a business. So a lot of artists are phenomenal at their work. They
Yeah.
make beautiful work, but have zero idea how to run a business.
Mhm.
So honestly, running the business part is more important
Yes.
than the art part. And a lot of times they don't know that. And
Yeah.
I've learned that, and I've been really lucky that I've learned it well along the way. And I think to myself, like, I see these artists online who are not great, but are selling tons of stuff.
Yeah.
And then that just goes to show you that it's important
It's
to
all
know how to
marketing.
run the business. So I
Exactly.
just, like I said, it's been a couple years I've been thinking about it, and I was lucky. The beginning or at the end of last year, I was invited by Meta from the social media platforms to join a group online that was for Canadian content creators.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty cool. It's been a really cool experience to join on these like Zoom calls with them and learn about how Meta actually works, and different things that they were letting us test out as
Mhm.
Canadians. And then they had brought on somebody who taught how to run a membership. And I had
Mhm.
hopped on that call. I didn't even want to go on that call because I thought this wasn't a call that I was interested in. But I hopped on that call, didn't turn on my camera, didn't turn on my mic, and just listened while I was in the car. And everything the instructor was talking about was like hitting me. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna go run home and turn on the mic and turn on the mic and the camera. And I did. And half an hour into the call, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to start a membership. And I then
Wow.
realized that this is such a cool way, because I, like I said, I was struggling with the fact that I didn't know how do I teach these people how to paint a mural, how to run a
Mhm.
business, how
Yep.
to do your tax forms, how to like buy paint, how to do colors, how to pick colors, without it being weird on camera. And
Yes.
not, and I just couldn't figure it out. And I ended up joining his membership on how to learn how to open up a membership.
Yeah.
And I did that for 2 years. I'm sorry, for 2 weeks. And at the end of the 2 weeks, I was like, I'm just going to do this. And that was a big step, because I could have procrastinated and said, I'm not ready. I
Yep.
have nothing on my platform. I don't know what I'm doing. But I thought to myself, I'm just going to jump into this and see what happens.
Yep.
And I made it very clear to my audience that I was starting a membership and I wanted to grow with the first few founding members who were going to
Mhm.
join. They were going to get a special price if they stuck with me throughout it.
Mhm.
And I had 20 people sign up that first week, and
That
I
is
had
amazing.
nothing on my platform,
Wow.
but I said to them, we are going to do this together.
Yep.
And we did. And then at the end of the founding member, special, we ended up just opening it up as a regular membership, and I had a whole bunch of more people join, and we have grown, and we have like 2 calls a month, and they have access to me at all times.
Mhm.
So my members can message me and ask me any questions they want. I hop on calls with them all the time when they have questions. And oh my goodness, it's been such a nice experience. I absolutely love these members. I have them from all over the world. We've got
That's
Australia,
amazing.
Spain, France, the US, just everywhere. And it's been so much fun getting to know them. We have a
Yep.
little chat, and we chat, and everybody shares. And I throw out all kinds of little, like, hey, this week, let's do this. And,
Yeah.
everybody post a reel, and,
Yeah.
show me like, your best, work. Um, so it's been a lot of fun, and I absolutely love it. And it made me realize that you just sometimes have to jump into something, even though I knew nothing about it. But I've I continue learning. I think that that's another big thing about business. You have to always remember you don't
Yes.
know everything.
Yep.
And so you've got to keep learning. And I
Yep.
just have buckled down the last couple of months and started realizing I love this. I love my site. I love my member site. They log in, they have all this information. And now we have a full site, right? Like when we started, we
Amazing.
had nothing. And I'm thinking I ended up closing my membership for now, because I just want to concentrate on my members that I have, and I will be reopening in the late fall.
Mhm.
Um, but now when it reopens, it's going to be like a full boom. Like there's tons of
There's stuff.
information on
Yeah.
the that's right. There's tons of information on the site, and I've gotten a hang of things, and I know how things run now. And so it's been so great. It's been so great, and it's made me realize that you don't have to stop something. Like just because I'm getting older and I feel like maybe physically demanding, I don't want to paint murals
Mhm.
in my 60s and 70s, but I could
Mhm.
totally turn this business around and
Yeah.
do something totally different, but still sharing my expertise, right?
Absolutely. I had chills the whole time you were talking about your membership. I could just feel the love that you have for it.
Yeah, I
And I
really do. I really do.
Yeah, because I feel the same way about my YouTube channel. I was
Yeah.
so hesitant to start it. In February of 2024 of this year, I said, yeah, I want to start a podcast, but nothing happened. And then one day I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to start it. And I don't know why it took me so long, but I've been loving it. And I feel that same love from you for
Yeah.
your membership. And
That's
it's
the way I feel.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
I feel
so
like
much
I can't
fun.
wait to talk to them. I send them emails all the
Yeah.
time. I love it when I get a message from them. And like,
Yeah.
someone the other day says to me, I have a question. Like, I want to start I'm painting a mural. I don't really know how much to charge. I said, hop on a call. Let's have a FaceTime call. She was like,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. We don't have to have a FaceTime call. I'm like, no, no, let's hop on a call. I want to get to know my members. She ended up
Yeah.
hopping on that call. We had the best conversation for like 20 minutes. We chit chatted. I gave her all the info about what to charge that first client that she had. And she was ecstatic. She was so
Amazing.
excited that I was able to hop on that call with her. And I explained to my members, I am there for you guys now that I can be. When the
Yes.
membership grows to thousands of people, because that's what I'm
Yeah.
projecting.
Amazing.
That's what I'm projecting. I
Yeah.
then I probably won't be able to have that one-on-one with everybody. But
Yeah.
right now, I want to be able to, you know,
Yeah.
um, teach these members and learn from them, right? Like, what
Yeah.
do you want to know about the business? What do you want to
Absolutely.
learn? And
Yeah.
then
And you can have different tiers of your membership too, where they can get one-on-one time with you or something. Doesn't have
that's
to be the
right,
same for
for a
everyone.
different
Like there's
price.
so many
Yeah,
things you can do. Like it's
so
incredible.
many things.
And who would have thought that from not having a membership, not knowing how to even start one, to now closing the doors of the membership because you
Yeah,
just want to focus on those 35 individuals? Like
that I
that in
have.
itself is just so amazing.
Yeah,
Well, it's nice that you have all of these people and more people wanting to come in, but the fact that you can feel comfortable enough to close your doors, knowing that when they reopen, it's going to be bigger, it's going to be better,
that's
and
right. Well,
you're
I
going to be
started a
better
waiting
prepared.
list, which is great too, because the
That's
waiting list just
amazing.
keeps growing and
Yeah.
there's tons of people on it already. But I'm just going to be like, September, October, when I'm feeling ready, I'm just going
Yep.
to be like, we're going to open the doors again. If you want to come on, you can hop on. You've got a week to join. And then
Yeah.
I might be closing the doors again.
Yeah.
Just making it realize that then I can concentrate on it. It's new membership, right?
Yeah.
It's not, but it's going to develop in the next couple of years and really
That's
turn
I
into
can't wait to see it develop for you.
yeah.
That's amazing. Amazing. And so
Yeah.
where do you get your inspiration then for the membership, for your mural drawings? Where does the information come from for you to keep
Yeah.
going?
There's a few things. I mean, with the members and the membership, 100% the members inspire me. Every time
Yeah.
I'm on a call with them, I ask them, what do you guys want from me? What do you want
Hmm.
from me? Do you want me to teach you how to paint? Do you want me to show you videos? Do you want me to show you how to run a business? Do you want to learn how to file your taxes? Like, what do you want to
Yeah.
do? So
Yeah.
they inspire me in that way. When it comes to actually painting murals, there's a few things that I go for my creative outlook. So I always have a one-on-one call with my clients
Hmm.
and get a little taste of what they are interested in. Ever since COVID happened, I've had the ability to start having video calls with my clients before, which I never did before. Before it was like
Yeah.
instantly make an appointment, go to their home.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, let's hop on a call. I get to know them a little bit on the call. Sometimes they're at their home and they'll show me their home. And
Hmm.
it saves me a trip, but at the same time, it allows me to start already thinking about what they like and what they don't like. So I always
Yeah.
talk to my clients. Every client is different, right? Some know exactly what they want. They'll hand me over a photo and be like, this is the inspiration I have.
Yeah.
And other ones have zero idea what they want. And those ones are the ones I have to kind of pull a little, right?
Yeah.
But you get to know them by um, sometimes I even go on their page and I can kind
Hmm.
of see their style or their aura, and then we go from there. And then I'm a scroller. So I
Hmm.
scroll through everything. I save stuff. I have folders everywhere. And then I go back and I get inspired by those and start doing some drawings.
Yeah.
And once we get some drawings done, have another video call. show them a couple of drawings, and then you can see their face, and
Mhm.
they're like, they light up or they don't light up.
Yeah.
And if they light up, you know that that's the way you've got to go with them, right?
Yeah. And
So
so what do you do with those clients that aren't lighting up?
you say, okay, find another muralist.
I have a whole community of muralists you can go find.
I have tons of people. No, it doesn't happen often. Already at this stage now, when people call me, they know what my style is.
Yeah.
So they're calling me because of that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when I was younger or at the beginning of my business, you are a people pleaser.
Of
So
course.
you satisfy everyone. Okay, I'll do whatever you want,
Yeah.
I'm past that now.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. So now it's more like this is what I do. And I've been so lucky that like almost 100% of the time my clients will just call me and be like, I need a mural, and they know, just do it.
Yeah. And
They're like, just do it. I know we'll love it. So
yeah.
I'm really lucky that way.
And what I love watching on your page is all the different techniques that
Yeah.
you have in your back pocket. And I'm like, what are you going to whip out next? Like
I know.
recently, you did all that black and white stripe illusion
Yeah.
type work. That was
Taping.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you did this beautiful, like veil looking flower that
I
looked,
know, it's so pretty, the sheer stuff with the sponge, yeah.
oh
So
my
this is just
gosh.
years and years of painting murals. I do probably like 80 to 100 murals a year.
Wow.
So if you count how many years have gone by, I've done so many that you just learn,
Hmm.
and you realize what works good. And I love using a sponge, and I know how to put tape on. And the best is like I get all these comments. Like I got so many comments on that tape one, that black and white one.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, it's not true. Tape doesn't work like that." And I'm like, I didn't use anything else. I just used tape,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
people, because it doesn't work for them,
Yeah.
they think it's not possible that I could have done the whole thing with tape. But,
Hmm.
it's just experience, and it's what
Yeah.
I know about tape. And I know that it has to be pressed on properly. It can't be twisted. The wall has to be a certain preparation. Like I know these things. I know like you have to peel the tape off when it's wet. These
Yeah.
are things that people don't know. And so then when they go and try it, they're like, it doesn't look like that for me. Right.
Yeah.
But it's experience. So it's the experience that I've had. And like I said, that's why I want to teach everyone like these things so that you don't have to like struggle doing it
Yeah.
as a muralist. Like learn from now, learn all the things that I already know, right? But it's all
Exactly.
these techniques that I've had for so many years, practicing. Like even the sponge that I love to use, it's a certain sponge.
Mhm.
Like I can't take my kitchen sponge and try to
Yeah.
paint that mural, right? It's like a certain sponge, but it's because I tried so many. I tried
Yeah.
so many, and then I'm like, oh my goodness, this one holds the paint perfectly and
Wow.
spreads it out perfectly, right?
Yeah.
And
And
that
I
even comes down to the paint that I use, right?
yeah.
Like I know what paint works best.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to waver and try other things, right?
Yeah. One thing that I'm always curious about when I watch your videos and I'm on your profile is how do you know? Because when I go to, let's say, Home Depot or Benjamin Moore or Sherwin-Williams, wherever I go, there's like millions, thousands of colors. How do you pick between all of these colors? And it's so perfect every time. They all look amazing together.
Okay, so this is a really interesting conversation we're having because our Zoom call that I just had with my mural members 2 weeks ago was about color theory.
Oh, there you go.
And yeah, and this is a topic that not everybody understands. And I didn't realize that. So for me, it comes very natural.
Yeah.
In college, back at OCAD, when I went to Ontario College of Art, I took a color theory class and
Mhm.
I loved that class. I learned so much in that class about what color means. And I mean, even down to like, what's your favorite color? And
Yeah.
then it'll tell you things about who you are because you love that color.
Amazing.
And I just loved that class. I immersed myself in color theory and it just became second nature for me. So
Mhm.
now I pick colors without even thinking about it. But I've
Mhm.
realized that not everybody can do this.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, and a lot of times when I look and I'm scrolling at other muralists, and I think that is a beautiful concept of a mural, but the colors are all wrong. And if the
Mhm.
colors were right, it would have looked totally different.
Yep.
And I think to myself, why did that person pick those colors? But now that I've been with my members too, and we've done this color theory class, I realized that not everybody knows the
Mhm.
rules about color.
Yeah.
And so there are like a certain, group of rules that I like to follow and that are kind of based on color theory. And like I said, it comes natural for me. So when I go to the paint store, I'm like, pick, 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 pick. And then I lay them out. You have to look at them in a certain light, and I can put them all together. But if you follow these rules that there are about color theory, then you put together everything you put together. If the mural doesn't look good, it's going to look good because of the colors you picked.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
So that's what I was teaching my members a couple weeks ago, which was actually a really eye-opening thing. So I started realizing maybe I need to teach this color theory class a couple more times, to the public, even because make it
Yeah.
public, right? So that
Yeah.
anybody can learn it. It's a really fun topic to learn about what color does and how it makes you feel, and uh, what people, because when people look at the mural, you want
Mhm.
them to look at the mural and just have this feeling
Yeah.
that they love it. And
Yeah.
that only comes from the colors they see, because
Yeah.
that's the first thing they'll see, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's been, I can
Would
talk
you
about
mind
color
sharing,
forever.
like, 1 or 2 of those rules of color theory with us?
Well, I mean, just like even very simple, like there's primary and secondary and tertiary colors. So you learn that there are complements on the color
Mhm.
wheel. I wonder if I have my
Mhm.
color wheel here, because I was
Like,
just
I know,
talking.
like, purple and yellow, those are
Yeah, so they are
complements.
complementary colors,
Yeah.
but they don't always look great together. Sometimes they create chaos
Mhm.
depending on the hue of them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's where you learn. Like, so sometimes, yes, you can use all of those colors, but you
Mhm.
have to use them in the right um, percentage. Like sometimes
Uh-huh.
there's even like a 60-30-10 rule. Like
Yep.
that's another rule that's really cool to learn. And if you do like three colors evenly spaced on the wheel,
Mhm.
they cause a pleasing effect to the eyes,
Hmm.
which a lot of people don't know that, right?
Yeah.
So like all of these things like put together help the mural look really, like, you want people to look at it and not be like, ooh,
Yeah, yeah.
what's going on here, right? You want them to look at it and be like, oh,
Yeah.
that looks so good,
Yeah.
you know? And that
Yeah.
happens with color.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
even be great for, like, a content episode about your branding, because I
Yeah.
know when I was going through my branding with my
Picking
company that I
colors.
picking colors was the hardest part, and then
Hmm.
now I have, like, 6 colors in my brand that I love all of them, but I'm like, I feel like there's so many, and I feel like they look wonderful together, but could they look better with these different colors? And then when
Yeah.
you go on Canva and you look at that wheel, the millions
You're
of
like, okay, what do I
shades
pick
that
now?
you can pick, you're like, "Oh my god, okay, these colors are fine." You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
mean, sometimes I even tell people, if you're not 100% sure when you're picking a mural, to just go online and look up a palette. Like you can
Yes.
look up um, a beach palette, let's
Yeah.
say, like, you know what I mean? And then like you have a whole bunch of, like, Pinterest is great for this, right? And then you
Mhm.
can look at that palette, and then I say, grab that palette, slide it into your Procreate, and then you pull from those colors to start drawing.
Yeah.
If color theory is something that's difficult for you, then don't just start picking colors, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
find a palette that's pleasing to you. I mean,
Mhm.
we are like, you can look at it and
Yeah.
you're like, if you're looking at that palette and you're like, oh my god, I really like that palette,
Yeah.
then use that, right?
Yeah.
Because then if you like it, more than likely other people will like it too, right?
Yeah, it evokes emotion, and I guess,
That's what it
physical,
does.
chemical, and emotional, those are my 3 pillars. It doesn't
Yeah.
just apply to health, right? It even applies to muraling, where you
Yeah.
have the physical, you have the chemical, where you're putting everything together and making this beautiful artwork, and then you have
That's
the
right.
emotion that comes from it, right?
Yeah.
So it
Oh, I like that.
definitely
I'm gonna save those three.
save it,
I like
save it.
love it.
But everything evokes emotion, and the color definitely can make something moody or fun or bright or whatever,
Yeah.
right? It
Yeah.
definitely makes a big difference.
That's right.
Absolutely. Well, Marilena, is there anything that you want to leave us off with for today?
I just want to tell and I'm really passionate about women starting businesses, but just if you have an idea and you're not sure, just go for it.
Yeah.
Like, just go for it. I say all the time, there's nothing that's Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? It doesn't succeed. Okay, so what? Like, it's not
Exactly.
a big deal. You just, you're not any worse off than you were, right?
Yeah.
So I always tell people, just go for it. Like, I love it when people come up to me and they're like, oh, I have this idea. I was thinking about starting this, but I'm not sure. I don't think I can. I don't
Yeah.
have the funds. I don't have a tax number. I don't have this. I'm like, you don't need anything.
Yeah.
Just start it.
Yeah.
Just start it. Start with your family and friends. Tell them about it. See, do a couple of whatever you're doing and see how it reacts to people. And you can tell by the reaction. I mean, it was like when I started painting a mural, I painted my family's mural, all my nieces
Mhm.
and nephews, and see their reaction. Do they love it? And did the
Mhm.
people who came into their home love it? Well,
Yeah.
then you've got something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just do it. Don't
Yeah.
wait for other things. Otherwise, you just keep procrastinating and you get nothing done.
Absolutely. I usually say there's no such thing as a failure. It's just a learning
It's
opportunity. You
learning.
just
Yeah.
learn, and then you learn how
Yeah.
to do things differently, and then you just keep evolving from there, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, Marilena, it was such a pleasure having you on today's
Oh,
show.
it
Thank
was
you
so
so much.
nice.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing all of your expertise with us, all about your business, how you started. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you
And for
so much.
and
Thank
for
you.
all of you listening, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of the Dr. Celia Corbo Show. If you want to learn how to work with me one-on-one and achieve your best quality of life through the 3 pillars of health, then click the link below to schedule your free health assessment call and receive my free masterclass all about the 3 pillars of health: the physical, chemical, and the emotional. I look forward to chatting with you very soon.